correspondence. He always made a copy of anything he wrote. And he just had boxes and boxes of these things at the house. And he went out there and asked Pete and Toshi if he could use them. Pete sort of warmed up to the idea, and he said, if you want to go ahead, but I want to look over your shoulder. And I said, all right. And after a couple of weeks, Pete said, no, it's better if you don't. If I don't, I don't want to editorialize you in this. So he would go through these just time responses. Pete Seeger answered every letter that was written to him in his life. It might take him a week, it might take him 5 years, but he would write an answer when he wrote newspaper articles. What this guy did was told the story of Pete Seeger through copies of his own letters and sort of arranged this in a chronological order.
They have to read that another winter. They got a winter this year.
I never did. But I did meet his brother.
Oh yeah, Mike was around.
I played with Mike twice. I never played with Pete, but I talked to him when I was 13 and when I was 16. And he was just as down to earth and interested in what you were doing.
Well, same way as Mike, he didn't frown on playing with anybody. He would play with anybody that played with him.
How about we were out in the field one day, Mike came back to the back side of the audience and he had his cap pulled down. You recognized him, didn't you? Hey Mike, you want to call me?
Oh, wow.
He come over and he said, I don't have my mute, so I told him I had a guitar. He said, I'll play the guitar.
I think he'd come off the Fiddler's Convention, so he was just passing through over there, you know. He kind of lurked in the background as we spotted him.
The other guy that was like that was Doc Watson. And I worked in a place in the suburbs of Philadelphia. I was one of about 5 musicians that was always there. I did opening and filler and stuff like that. And then I freelanced out there also. And I forget what happened, but they had some big guy that played with the symphony who also did things that was supposed to be there the week that Doc Watson came in. About 65 or 66, Doc was just starting to go on the road. And about 2 weeks before that, he had to go someplace with the orchestra. So the guy that owned the place at the time, Judge Campbell, called me and said, would you open on, he gave me the dates. I said, yeah, sure. I said, I'm not going to pay anything, but you're going to get some good exposure off of it. I said, yeah, okay, I'm not getting paid this money there. I was the opening night for Doc Watson for 3 days. And Doc was very interesting because we had this, the basement of the place was like this. There weren't any stars, dressing rooms or anything. You just had little corners. And Doc came down and he knew that there were several of us youngsters there. And he wanted to meet every one of us and he asked each of us to play. And he sat and listened to us. And listened to what we were playing and just commented and talked. He probably spent half an hour, 45 minutes a night just chatting with the young musicians. And then he'd go up and perform. After the Hurricane Tataway, whatever it was, the Crooker Brothers did a benefit concert, and Doc came out to play. And afterwards, we were out there talking to the Crooker Brothers, and Doc was sitting there. And I said, Doc, I know there's no way in hell that you would remember this, but I used to work at a place called the Main Point. Oh, lovely place. Oh, yeah, he started telling me all about it, and the 2 times he played there. I said, yeah. About 65, I opened for you, played a long neck banjo. I don't remember exactly what it was. I said, I remember, I liked your playing, I liked that. He said, it was straightforward and simple. He goes on, he said, I wish I could remember more about it, but I just don't.
I've seen him
If you remembered
times.
anything.
Yeah, he's one of my favorite people ever.
He's just so laid back and cool.
I kind of had to feel a little bit snotty, but
I think he's had to protect himself after a while.
Yeah. Well, that was Merle's job on the road.
I got on played with him and he wouldn't give him.
I didn't think it was a friend.
He wouldn't talk to him.
Well, I didn't expect him to talk
No,
very long.
no.
He said hello and everything, but they told him he recognized him. I didn't think anything of it.
Might have just been me.
I think it was you.
He was cool, but that was sort of where Pete was. You know, the first time I saw him, he came to the high school as a boarding school. I was there as a freshman. He played. I was fascinated. And after the concert, he simply came out and sat on the edge of the stage and just stayed there as long as anyone wanted to talk. Asked him about the band or the music, and just chatted away and had a grand time.
Well, I just discovered a week or two ago, I was reading that he had gone through this phase where he had orchestration behind him when he was with the Weavers and like chorus people, and like strings, kind of 40-ish sounding music.
Yeah.
But my dad had bought me a record when I was looking. I didn't know who it was, and I lost it. And it was on top of Old Smoky, and he was lining it out, and like an old hymn.
Yep.
And I didn't know who had done it. And I read in this book that was the way Pete Seeger had done it and made a popular record of it. And I had that record, and I ran around the house as a little kid, saying the words because I could understand when someone was lining it out. And then I just a couple of weeks ago, I realized it was Pete Seeger.
Yeah. And the people that were in the Weavers are amazing when you realize what they did. Lee Hayes, he got blackballed right along with him. Well, the Weavers got blackballed, and Hayes just stayed in the background and he wrote and did things. Fred Hellerman said, okay, screw you, and became an arranger. And he was an arranger and a producer for Harry Belafonte, for the Kingston Trio, for about 8 or 9 of the folk groups. But he couldn't get a gig himself. He had to be paid by the performers because everyone else was afraid to pay him a nickel. But he had a very, very successful career. It's just that the House of American Activities screwed them all out of their jobs. And Fred Hellerman did very well, although he couldn't perform on stage. And Seeger simply went out and invented the college concert. The one-man college concert. There was nothing they could do about it.
And it affected a lot of people in my age in terms of their worldview, and by bringing in international folk music after World War II, when our parents were so in such a war mode that it brought back to us the kind of sense that people everywhere were people doing music, and that and the casualness of his performance, not dressing up, stuff like this was kind of part of the proletarian culture, and that was very in contrast to what my parents had gone through.
Yeah.
So he basically subverted a lot of people out of my generation into a whole different way of doing things and looking at things.
He was amazing. Later, when he was allowed, once a year, he came to Philadelphia and played the Academy of Music, which is where the orchestra normally plays. So here's this ornate place with tiers and balconies and seats, and he would come out on stage, red curtain behind him, and he would simply walk out on stage. He had 2 microphones, one for the instrument and one for his voice. And he had a banjo strapped on his guitar. He'd walk out, he'd set the guitar down, and he'd be in clothes that looked like that's what he had traveled in for the last week. Corduroys, he'd have corduroy boots on, and baggy sweater or something. And he'd play for a half hour or something. He'd stop, and the banjo would come off, and he'd pull the sweater off and just kind of throw it by him on the floor.
He apparently is one of the first people to have that attitude toward performing. And he was never, he never looked dirty or messy. He was just always casual.
Yeah, real casual. But it was kind of neat because you sat there and watched it. You're sitting in the surroundings, because I would go down there and hear the orchestra play or see a performance.
I could do that. And so we try to do that.
Go to school.
It's kind of
If you want to read those books, they do have both of them. The other one's the Incomplete Folk Singer, and it's sort of handwriting, but quite often he reverts to just taking articles that he wrote and putting them in to explain a position. And that's harder to read.
I could I'm going to start again next week. I'm running out of winter. I could do some more winter.
No, we couldn't. Save it for next week.
Yeah, next one.
Don't give it to her now, then it'll snow again.
How about Buffalo Gals?
Yeah, okay, but I have to go to G for it.
Gee, okay, that's my problem. All right, what else? What else is May?
On top of Old Smoky,
Smoky,
covered with snow,
all covered with snow.
I lost my true lover,
My true lover,
courting too slow,
I'm courting too slow.
for courting's a pleasure,
Courting's a pleasure,
and parting is grief,
and parting is grief,
and a false-hearted lover
and a false-hearted lover
is worse than a
is
thief.
worse than a thief.
A thief will just rob you,
Or a thief will just rob you
and take what you have,
and take what you have.
but a false-hearted lover
A false-hearted lover
will lead you to the grave,
to the grave,
and the grave will decay you,
and the grave will decay you,
and turn you to dust.
turn you to dust.
Not one boy in 100,
Not one boy in 100,
a poor girl can trust.
a poor girl can trust.
So come all you young maidens,
So come all you maidens,
and listen to me.
and listen to me,
Never place your affection
and never place your affection
on a green willow tree,
on a green willow tree.
for the leaves they will wither,
For the leaves they will wither,
and the roots they will die,
and the roots they will die,
and you'll all be forsaken,
and you'll all be forsaken,
and never know why.
and never know why.
Is that all?
Yeah,
That's
That's
important
it.
to keep
Nice.
time.
I know, I wasn't sure at the time. I didn't know how much space to leave there.
So that's what you mean when you say lining it out?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
so
normally done
it's a
with all the
spoken
primitive
line.
Baptist hymns.
Oh, really?
But